Hey, how's your day going? Feeling alright? Ready to dive into this story with me, from start to finish? This isn't just relationship drama, it's a raw wake-up call about respect, boundaries, and what it truly means to feel safe in a marriage. Come walk through it with me, because if you've ever questioned your gut, this one's going to resonate. Hey, listener, you're about to step into a story that starts with love but stumbles into betrayal, where a single moment can shatter trust. I'm Emily, 25, a graphic designer in Seattle, newly married to Jason, 27, a marketing coordinator. We're 1 month into our marriage, still unpacking wedding gifts and figuring out life as a couple after 2 years of dating. Our apartment's small but cozy, filled with plants and shared dreams. I thought I knew Jason, his goofy laugh, his late-night ramen runs. But a glance at his phone changed everything, cracking the mirror of our life together. Let's dive in. This one's raw, and it's just the beginning. Jason and I met at a friend's game night, bonding over a fierce battle. He was charming, quick-witted, always ready with a joke. Dating him felt easy: coffee dates, hikes, binge-watching sci-fi shows. 2 years in, he proposed under a starry sky on a camping trip, and I said yes without a second thought. Our wedding was simple, joyful: family, friends, and a playlist we fought over. Now, settled in Seattle, we're navigating married life. I design logos from home. He pitches campaigns at a downtown firm. It's not perfectitious pile-up. We bicker about laundry, but it's ours. Or so I thought. Last week, everything shifted. Jason was in the shower, his phone buzzing on the kitchen counter. I wasn't snooping. I was curious. Maybe a work text, maybe a meme from his group chat. I'd glanced at his phone before. No big deal. We're married, right? No secrets. I unlocked it. Same passcode as always. Sand opened his messages. A thread with his work buddy, Mike, caught my eye, time-stamped from last night. Mike wrote about a new coworker, Lisa, that chick's been with half the office. Jason's reply hit like a punch. Wish I was one of them. My stomach dropped. I scrolled, hoping it was a joke, but it got worse. Jason had added, "She's hot, man. Bet she's wild." Mike sent a laughing emoji, then mentioned another colleague. "Sarah, smells like cheap perfume," but I'd still hit it. Jason's response, "I'd eat that, stink or not." My hands shook. This wasn't flirting or venting. This was crude, vile. Not the Jason I knew. The man who'd vowed to love me a month ago was talking about women like they were objects, joking about cheating like it was a game. I locked the phone, my heart racing, and sat frozen until I heard the shower stop. When Jason walked in, towel around his waist, humming, I couldn't look at him. "You okay, Em?" he asked, grabbing a beer. I nodded, muttering, "Just tired." But inside, I was spiraling. Those texts weren't just words, they were a betrayal. Not of our bed, but of our trust. I'd never suspected him of cheating. He was attentive, sweet, always home by dinner. But this side of him, crass, disrespectful, fantasizing about co-workers, felt like a stranger. Was this who he was at work, behind my back? Did he talk about me like that? The thought made my skin crawl. I kept quiet, not ready to confront him. Part of me wondered if I was overreacting. Guys talk like that, right? Locker room stuff. Maybe it was harmless, just blowing off steam with Mike. But the words "wish I was one of them" looped in my head. He wasn't just joking, he was imagining it, wanting it. And the way he degraded Sarah, someone he barely knew, was disgusting. I thought of our vows, his hand in mine, promising fidelity, respect. Had that been a lie? Or was this just a dumb text thread, a moment of stupidity I should ignore? I couldn't sleep that night, staring at the ceiling while Jason snored beside me. I felt betrayed, but also foolish. Had I missed signs? He'd never been crude around me, never ogled other women, but his phone, that one glimpse, showed a side I didn't know. I wanted to check it again, dig deeper, but that felt like crossing a line. Instead, I lay there, questioning everything. Was I enough for him? Did he respect me? Or was I just the wife he came home to while he played this other role at work? The trust we'd built felt fragile, a mirror with its first crack, threatening to shatter. Listener, Emily's world just tilted, and those texts are only the start. Is this a one-off mistake? Or a glimpse of who Jason really is? She's caught between love and disgust, trust and doubt. Stay with Metha's stories about to dig into what happens when the person you love feels like a stranger. Emily's discovery of Jason's crude texts to his work buddy Mike had cracked open her trust. At 25, barely a month into marriage, the Seattle apartment she shared with her 27-year-old husband felt like foreign territory. Those messages, "wish I was one of them," "I'd eat that," "stink or not," weren't just words. They revealed a side of Jason she didn't recognize, one that objectified women and fantasized about cheating. Emily spent days wrestling with disgust, doubt, and an annoying question: was she wrong for checking his phone, or was he wrong for what he said? The answer wasn't clear, but the hurt was, and confronting him was her only way forward. For a week, Emily kept silent, the text looping in her mind like a bad song. She watched Jason, his easy smile, his "love you" before work, and felt like she was living with a stranger. Was this who he'd always been, hidden behind his charm? She blamed herself. To snooping on his phone felt like a betrayal, even if what she found was worse. But the longer she stewed, the more her anger outweighed her guilt. Those weren't harmless jokes. They were disrespectful, not just to her but to the women he worked with. She couldn't unsee them, couldn't pretend their marriage was fine. She needed answers, even if they broke her. One evening, after a tense dinner where Emily barely spoke, she couldn't hold it in. Jason was on the couch, scrolling through his phone, the same one hiding those texts. She sat across from him, her hands clasped to stop their shaking. "Jason, we need to talk," she said, her voice steady despite her pounding heart. He looked up, eyebrows raised. "What's wrong?" She took a breath, diving in. "I saw your texts with Mike. The ones about Lisa and Sarah. The stuff you said wishing you'd been with her. The gross comments about eating someone. What the hell was that?" Jason's face shifted surprise, then a flash of anger. He set his phone down, leaning forward. "You went through my phone." His voice was sharp, accusatory. Emily's resolve wavered, but she pushed on. "I wasn't trying to snoop. It was open, and I glanced. But that's not the point. What you said was disgusting. We're married, Jason, a month in, and you're texting about screwing other women." He laughed, a cold, dismissive sound. "Jesus, you're blowing this way out of proportion. It's guy talk, stupid jokes. You're acting crazy." The word crazy stung, like a slap. Emily's face burned, but she didn't back down. "Don't turn this on me. I'm not upset because you found someone attractive. It's the way you talk, like those women are objects, like our marriage means nothing. You said you wished you'd slept with Lisa. How am I supposed to feel safe with that?" Jason rolled his eyes, leaning back. "Safe? Come on. It's not like I did anything. It's just texts, not a crime. You're the one who invaded my privacy. Ever think maybe that's why you're freaking out?" Emily's throat tightened. He was flipping it, making her the villain for looking, not him for what he wrote. She shook her head, her voice rising. "Privacy doesn't cover saying vile things about your coworkers, Jason. You degraded real people, women you see every day, right after promising to respect me. That's not guy talk. That's a choice." He shrugged, his jaw tight. "Fine, it was crude. Happy Mike and I were messing around. Doesn't mean I'd do anything. You're making it a big deal because you went digging." The dismissal hit hard. Emily wanted him to own it, to see why his words cut so deep. But he deflected, doubling down. She pressed one last time. "If it's no big deal, why hide it? Why not say that stuff to my face? Because you knew it'd hurt me. You knew it was wrong." Jason sighed, picking up his phone again, like the conversation was over. "I'm not gonna grovel for a dumb text. If you don't trust me, that's your problem." He turned the TV on, the volume low but pointed, shutting her out. Emily stood, her eyes stinging, and walked to their bedroom. Alone, she felt the weight of it all: hurt, shame, and a creeping sense of betrayal. Jason's refusal to engage, his gaslighting crazy jab, made her question her reality. Was she overreacting? No, those texts weren't just crude. They showed a disrespect that shook the foundation of their marriage. She didn't feel safe not because he'd cheated, but because he didn't care how his words landed. The man she'd vowed to love felt like a stranger, and the life they'd built felt like a lie. That night, Emily set a boundary. She told Jason she needed space, no shared bed. No pretending things were fine, until you can own what you did and talk like adults. I'm sleeping in the guest room, she said. He scoffed but didn't argue. She moved her pillow, her heart heavy but resolute. Their marriage wasn't over, but it was on thin ice. She needed respect, not excuses, and she wasn't sure Jason could give it. Listener, Emily's drawn a line, but the fight's not over. Can Jason change? Or is this the end of their story? Stay with Meth Truths about to get clearer. And Emily's not backing down. Emily's world had shifted in the month since discovering Jason's crude texts about his co-workers. At 25, barely married to her 27-year-old husband in their Seattle apartment, she'd confronted him, only to be met with dismissal guy talk. He'd called it, labeling her crazy for caring. Moving to the guest room, Emily set a boundary, but the hurt lingered. Jason's refusal to own his worthless, vile fantasies about other women, his disrespect eroded the trust she'd built their marriage on. She wasn't sure what came next, but she knew one thing. She deserved a partnership where she felt safe. The question was whether Jason could ever be that partner. He'd say morning, and with forced cheer, ignoring her sleeping in the guest room. Emily stayed firm, keeping her distance, her heart heavy but resolute. She wasn't overreacting as texts weren't just crude. They showed a man who didn't value her or the women around him. She started questioning their future. Could she stay with someone who only saw her pain when it suited him? Late one night, unable to sleep, she typed divorce into her phone, the words staring back like a dare. It felt extreme, but also honest. If respect was gone, what was left? The turning point came a week later. Over breakfast, Emily sat across from Jason, her coffee cold. "We need to talk," she said, her voice steady. "I'm thinking about divorce." Jason froze, his fork midair. "Divorce? Come on." Over some texts, his tone was incredulous, but his eyes betrayed panic. She held his gaze. "Not just texts. It's you dismissing me, disrespecting me, acting like my feelings don't matter. I don't feel safe with you anymore." The word safe hit him hard. His face crumpled, and for the first time, he seemed to hear her. Panic set in. Jason's casual defiance vanished. He bombarded her with texts when she was at work. "I'm sorry. I was an idiot. Let's fix this." He left voicemails, his voice shaky. "I didn't mean it, Em. I'll do whatever you want." He called his mom, who texted Emily, pleading for her to give him a chance. At home, he followed her around, promising to be a better husband, to go to therapy, to delete Mike's number. "I love you," he said, eyes wet. "I'll change." But Emily's heart didn't stir. She looked at him, searching for the man she'd married, and saw only desperation, not accountability. "Why did you say those things in the first place?" she asked one night, her voice quiet but piercing. "You wished you'd slept with her. You degraded women you work with." "Why?" Jason fumbled, his excuses thin. "It was stupid. Just talk. I'd never do anything." But that wasn't the point, and he knew it. Emily shook her head. "It's not about cheating. It's about respect. You didn't just betray me, you showed me who you are when I'm not looking." His apologies, fervent as they were, felt like a reaction to consequences, not a genuine reckoning. They came too late, after she'd already drawn her line. Emily spent nights reflecting, talking to her sister, reading about trust and boundaries. She realized love couldn't thrive where she felt unsafe, where her worth was an afterthought. Jason's promises were tempting. Part of her wanted to believe he'd changed, but promises weren't enough. She needed a partner who valued her from the start, not just when faced with losing her. Her illness last year had taught her to fight for herself. This was no different. She wasn't angry anymore, just clear. She deserved more than a marriage held together by pity or late apologies. The decision wasn't final, but it was forming. Emily met with a therapist, exploring her options: separation, counseling, or divorce. She leaned toward leaving, not out of spite, but self-respect. She pictured a life where she didn't second-guess her partner's words, where trust wasn't a battle. Jason's tears, his mother's pleas, couldn't sway her. She wasn't punishing him, she was choosing herself. For now, she stayed in the guest room, weighing her next steps, her heart heavy, but her mind calm. Whatever came next, she'd face it on her terms. So, listener, thanks for sticking with me. Emily's at a crossroads: love versus self-worth, promises versus proof. Would you give Jason a chance? Or walk away like Emily's leaning? When's a time you had to choose yourself over someone you loved? Share bellow whim all ears. Stay tuned. Life's full of moments that test what we're willing to accept.